Do you ever find yourself wondering how well you really know your book taste? Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. For the past 2 or so books that I've read, I rated them 3 stars, and I'm at this point where I'm a little shaken because I'm feeling like, do I really not know my book taste? The 2 books that I rated, I genuinely thought I would give 4 stars and up. So I looked through my entire book cart, I looked through my TBR, I looked through everything, and I was like, you know what? There are a few books that I've held off on because I looked at them and I had a feeling that they would be 5 stars, and I let them go because I was like, I need you for a special day. I fear that time is now. I do need multiple 5-star reads right now because the last 5-star read I had was the Happy Ever After playlist, and at that time when I gave it a 5-star, I thought I was being more lenient towards my ratings because I used to be a very strict rater. My 5-star books were my top tier books. I wasn't giving out 5 stars just like that. I thought, what better way to acquire a 5-star read than to finally pick up the books that have intimidated me, that have steered me back from my TBR cart, daring me to pick them up. I also do want to say that this video was about 60% inspired by one particular book, the first book that I will be reading in this video. Any guesses? Okay, if you've seen any of my older videos, you should have been able to guess this real quick. This has survived 3 of my TBR videos. This has sat on my bookshelf for about 2.5 years, and I've just been very intimidated because every time I see reviews on it, every time I see anyone talking about it, I am so sure that I would give this a 5-star. Right now, as I'm saying that out loud, I feel like I'm setting myself up for failure because sometimes when I go into a book thinking it'll be 5 stars, I give myself this really false expectation, this hope, this standard, and then if the book doesn't meet it at all, I get in a slump. That's not gonna happen today. We're gonna make sure it doesn't happen because we're gonna go from this onto other books that I'm not sure which one I'm gonna pick up for this video because there are a handful of books that I've put off just for the sake of having a 5-star read when I need a 5-star read. Enough yapping, enough talking. We are going to go straight into the first book, which is Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, which I am finally picking up. I am now going to go pick up my sticky tabs. We're gonna start reading. Okay, this is already so beautiful. This is I don't know if this is considered a prologue or what it is, but it's already so poetic. It is going to be one of my most annotated books. I have a good feeling about this. I have a really good feeling about this. I'm just manifesting that all these good feelings transfer into all the rest of the books that I read this week, and now I'm going to go read this. I think it's time that I sit here and give you an update just because I haven't talked about this book yet. I am on page 70, so I'm a little bit into it. This book is beautiful. The writing is absolutely stunning. Can I just talk about that real quick? Let me read you guys one of my favorite quotes. She goes, "There was no danger in it, no reproach, not when she was young. All girls are prone to dreaming. She will grow out of it, her parents say. But instead, Adeline feels herself growing in, holding tighter to the stubborn hope of something more. The world should be getting larger. Instead, she feels it shrinking, tightening like chains around her limbs as the flat lines of her own body begin to curve out against, and suddenly the charcoal beneath her nails is unbecoming, as is the idea that she would choose her own company over Arnard's or George's or any man who might have her. She is at odds with everything. She does not fit. An insult to her sex, a stubborn child in a woman's form, her head bowed and arms wrapped tight around her drawing pad as if it was a door." You guys, as a girl who grew up using art as her coping mechanism, as her escape, this book is so beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, there's not really anything happening. It's I don't know what the point of the book is right now because it's just about her and making a deal and how she was forgotten by everyone in her life, which is just the basic story that we already know. Okay, my battery randomly died, so I get Adeline's point of view, I get why she made the deal, and I get that she didn't realize what she was saying, but the way that the writing is written is so heart-wrenching, where you don't even know her that well, but I'm still finding myself really feeling towards her. But there's not much going on in the book. I'm at 70 pages and nothing really has happened. We're just in her head. And I think that's the whole point. It's just a very character-driven book. This is the exact vibes that I was getting when I read You've Reached Sam. These characters always have these traits that are not likable, and I think that's what makes them realistic and that's what makes them relatable, and that's what I think makes Adeline very relatable, because honestly, if I was in her position, I 100% get why she did what she did. It's such a full circle moment, because in the book she keeps saying like, oh, books are like the best way, like stories are important, stories are the best way to keep someone's memory alive. But then she goes, when she first gets forgotten, she goes, she will learn in time that she can lie, and the words will flow like wine, easily poured, easily swallowed, but the truth will always stop at the end of her tongue, her story silenced for all but herself. But we're reading her story. I just got a theory. What if this whole thing, I'm not gonna say it, which should I say it? Skip forward if you haven't read this book and you don't want to hear my theory. But I'm thinking, we obviously know that she meets someone who remembers her, who's one person who remembers her. She's constantly talking about how her story is not heard, how no one really knows her, how no one remembers her. What if this entire thing is like a book written by the person who remembers her because they want to tell her story? It's written in third person. I don't know, it's just my theory. I'm liking this book. I'm actually like, I haven't read a book in so long that I'm like, I just want to continue reading. But I think right now I'm sitting at a 4.5 or a 4, just because I need to know more of what's going to happen in the story. I want to get to the part where she actually meets someone who remembers her. Yeah, those are my thoughts right now. I am going to continue reading now, and I will update you guys if I have any thoughts or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna go read now. I think I'm just gonna try to get as much as I can tonight and then continue tomorrow, and hopefully finish the book tomorrow. I did end up making plans with my sister tomorrow, so maybe I might not be able to finish, but I want to finish tomorrow because I want to read 3 books. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna go read now, and I'll talk to you guys when I see you next. Okay, besties, I haven't talked to you guys in forever. It's been about, give or take, a day and a half, just because things happen. Life happens, things get busy. Now we're here. I got a little bit into The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I'm loving it. I just looked at part 3. And I'm pretty sure I told you guys my theory about what I think Henry is playing the part in. We're at this part where Adeline basically in the past is talking about how the only thing she has going for her is this hatred towards Luce. Now that she named him Luce for Lucifer. I'm obsessed. I don't know what to say. I think in the beginning it was very like, you don't know the direction of where it's going, but then the moment that Henry comes to play, now the story is moving along, there's traction in the story, the days are moving forward, there's more happening. It sets up a lot of intrigue, because now I'm reading and I'm like, I want to know, why does Henry know? But I feel like there's so many parallels between both of their lives that like they're basically the same person but like opposite. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a time where, there was a chapter where Adeline basically was like, all she has is time, but then the chapter after, Henry has a watch that doesn't work. So basically like he doesn't have the time on him. But yeah, I just think like there's so many parallels in their life. Either he also made a deal or he is just a lost boy, and I think that's why Adeline is like in his brain, where it's like somehow somewhere there was a cosmic connection that happened, or so, I don't know, something. I think her in this lifetime, this will be her last lifetime, in my opinion. I think that's where this is headed. I don't know. Don't want to spoil anything. I'm going to continue reading now, and I'll come back when I have another update. I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm loving this book, and I think this is set up to be at least a 4.5. We'll see how the story goes along. I don't want to get my hopes too high, just in case it doesn't. Yeah, I think we're going off to a good start. You guys, I have like 15 pages left. I am a little sad. Something's about to happen, and I have a feeling I know what it is. I'm gonna finish this book right now, and I have a feeling I know what this is. I just finished crying. First of all, that was beautiful. And the fact that Addie is such a relatable character, and then you get the entire story of Henry, and Henry's so relatable. It's just such a, I don't know, like I saw myself in so many of these moments. There's not enough time. You're constantly, like there's so much to see in life, but there's just not enough time. She's just such a perfect character. And Henry being the addition to it. And then I also think Luce is like such a great character. Luce was great, but I don't consider him one of the main characters of the story, you know. And I know that everyone is like obsessed with Luce. I don't see why. I don't know if I missed something or something, but this will always be Addie's story, and I think if there's any other main character, it's Henry. Okay, my battery died, so I had to go grab another one. Like I was saying, even though Luce is the one who caused the deal and everything, I don't consider him anywhere near being a main character. I love this book. I think right now I am going to rate it 5 stars. When I rate something 5 stars, I wake up the next morning and just like in my head I'm like, okay, did I really want to rate this 5 stars? But I think I am rating this book 5 stars. But I think that's all I will say on this book. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't read it, but I feel like everyone has read it already. I think this book is great for people who enjoy like Olivia Blake writing, or like even Sally Rooney writing. I feel like this book is so good because it has kind of like the same same themes that they write about. And I think when you read books like this, it's really important to have an open mind. I think I'm going to be thinking about this for a long time. Right now I feel so numb, and the only thing in my head is like some of the parts of this book that I've read, and that's what constitutes a 5-star read for me. It's that feeling that I'm getting where my chest is like tightening and the only thing I can think about is the book. I am going to doom scroll on TikTok for edits about The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and I will see you guys tomorrow when I start a new book now. Okay, so as you guys saw last night, I finished Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Now it's time for book number 2 of this video that I think will be 5 stars. I have a book picked out right here, and I'm gonna tell you the reasoning first. The reason I think this book will be 5 stars is because I read the first book by this author and I absolutely loved it. It cemented its place as one of my favorite books of all time. So I have a feeling that she will not disappoint. The book I'm talking about, First Love Take 2 by Shivani Patel. This is a South Asian author. This is a romance book. It's a second chance romance. She is a med student, and this is her ex, and he's a chef or something. They end up living in the same apartment. I love second chance romance. That being said, I'm going to sit here, I'm gonna start reading this book, and I will update you guys when I have something to talk about, when something happens in the book, when anything is worthy of talking about. I'm gonna go read now. Okay, hi besties. I haven't updated at all for this book. I've realized I am on page 124, so about a third of the way through. I'm really liking this book. It's a really fast-paced read, and it's easy to read. I already know the characters. I love the characters already, or like the main female character. I know her already from the first book, and just being in her life is kind of interesting because I already know like partially her story. Maybe not the full thing, but I know a lot of it. I just want to say the reason I haven't updated about this book is because, so as I've mentioned multiple times on my channel before, I am an indie author and I have a book release coming up soon, and so I've just been really focused on that as well as trying to finish reading, and a lot of my day-to-day time is going into my book. Besides the point, let's talk about First Love Take 2. This book is about Preeti, who we meet in the first book, which is The Trouble with Hating You. She's going through her residency in med school, and she was originally living with her other friend Rima, but Rima just got married, and so she's like, she needs to move out because her husband's gonna move into that apartment, and she just wants to find a new place. Now, the first girl from the first book, Leah, was like, you can stay at my apartment because I'm moving to Texas anyways. Preeti's like, okay, yeah, perfect, like that works out, everything's fine. Then she finds out that Leah also said yes to Daniel, who is Preeti's ex, because he needed a place to stay for a couple weeks. And she was like, listen, just giving you a warning that I did say yes to Daniel. Basically, now they're in this living situation together. We already kind of know that they broke up because of like cultural differences, and a lot of things happened just with her family and then with his family. They haven't resolved the issue, and I feel like there has to be something more, because if that's all the issue is, then that means like we have to reveal in the beginning, and they're just choosing not to talk. Also, she's arranged to get married to someone else, and he seems like he's dating someone. So the first book was dual POV, this one is not dual POV. I do like this book, but I just hope that there is more to the reason why they broke up. I just want something that's like, you know what, like, yeah, I get it. Because if we've already been revealed the reason as to why they broke up, then I feel like the conflict of the book is gone. I'm gonna try to finish this as soon as I can. Hopefully today I can get a lot of it done, and then tomorrow morning I finish it, and then I get on with the third book that I want to read, because I do want to get through this video already. Those are my thoughts on this book. I'm gonna go read now, and I'll update you guys if anything happens, or maybe I'll just see you guys at the end of this book. I did finish First Love Take 2 by Shivani Patel earlier today. I am slightly disappointed. I went into this book thinking that this might be a 5-star read as well, just because I absolutely adored the first book, The Trouble with Hating You. That was one of my absolute favorite books. So I genuinely thought I would love this one, but it kind of just fell short for me. It was like the reason for their breakup kind of felt very minute, and then like the resolvement of it all just happened out of the blue, and it just like, I don't know, like something about it just kind of, I felt like something was lacking in the story. There was not enough yearning for it to be a second chance romance. I don't know if I just couldn't connect with the characters or what it was. Maybe I just had too high of expectations because of the way I loved the first book of this duology. Disappointingly enough, I think I might rate this a 3.75. It's not a mediocre book. I did enjoy it. the love confession like chef's kiss. But the book itself, it just didn't hit like a 5-star book. When I finished it, I kind of, it wasn't that like, oh my god, it's done. It was more of a like, okay, finally. So sad to say that this disappointed me. Sadly, this book was not a 5-star read. We're at a 50-50. I want to see if I still know my book taste, which is why the next and last book that we're picking up for this video is Maybe Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now, I am very confident in this. I read Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Daisy Jones and the Six, One True Love, Malibu Rising, and I think I read another one that I don't recall. But anytime I pick up a Taylor Jenkins book, I devour it, and every single Taylor Jenkins Reid book is rated 4 or higher for me. I am going to get into Maybe in Another Life because, as said before, I think Taylor Jenkins Reid will save the day. Okay, I feel like I should give you guys an update because I got to page 118. So basically, the thing about old Taylor Jenkins Reid books, she doesn't do this anymore, but a lot of her old books, her first like published books, like this one, Forever Interrupted, One True Loves, Maybe Another Life, and then there's After I Do. I feel like a lot of those revolve around topics like fate and destiny and the choices you make in life and stuff like that. And this is no different. Basically, what happens is there's this girl, Hannah Martin, who she's 29. She doesn't really know what she wants to do in life. She's moved around a lot because she feels like there's no place that she can consider home. But then after some issues with her relationship in New York City, she decides she's gonna come home once and for all. So she calls up her best friend Gabby and she's like, I'm gonna come move in LA again. So Gabby lets her live in her house, and so she moves back. And I think a couple days of being in LA, she and Gabby's husband go out for a night, and she calls up her high school boyfriend Ethan to meet her at the bar. And so they're all dancing, and then when it's time to go, Ethan's like, oh, you can stay. Hannah's like, oh, I don't know what to do. So from that point on, this book starts taking 2 consecutive timelines. Every other chapter correlates to what she would have done then. So basically there's 2 storylines. So one storyline that happens is her if she left with Gabby, and then the other storyline is if she stayed at the bar with Ethan, what would have happened. It's just such a cool concept. Like, I haven't read a book with this concept. Some stuff has happened in both timelines, and I don't want to say anything because I want to keep this spoiler free. I don't want to spoil anything, but things are crazy. It really is crazy how different your life can turn if you just make a different decision. This is very bingeable too, so I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna read as much as I can. I'm gonna come back when I have thoughts, or maybe perhaps when I finish this book. Just know I'm absolutely devouring this. I just finished Maybe Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I don't know how to feel. I thought this ending was gonna go a different way. Yeah, up until here we were doing great, and then the last 10 pages happened, and I just thought it was gonna go a different direction. The book was really good, addicting. I did enjoy it. I think the character is relatable. Hannah's really relatable in a lot of the ways that she feels about life in general. The ending just throws me off. Up until we were like 10 pages from the end, I was fully like in the mind space that this is a 4.5. I already knew this wasn't gonna be a 5-star. I just wasn't getting that 5-star feel. It's a 4-star. I have to take a full star off for that ending because I did not like it. The concept of the book is beautiful. I don't know if it's just the way that I believe the whole multiverse and soulmate theory. I don't know if that's what's factoring into how I feel about this book, but I'm giving it a 4-star. So that concludes my reading for this video. Let me go grab the other 2 books and we can discuss. Okay, we're also at my desk now just because I feel like this is a better place for us to do the final wrap of this video. In this video, I wanted to see if I knew my book preferences or not. So I wanted to read books that I thought would be 5 stars just based on premise, author, title, cover, whatever I was going through. And for this video, I read 3 books. First Love Take 2, then I read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and then finally I read Maybe in Another Life. I think this is really saddening to see that I may not really know my book taste as well as I thought I would, because I fully went into all 3 of these books thinking, yes, these are consecutive 5-star reads, one after the other. I'm gonna rate all of these 5 stars. I ended up getting a 3.75, a 4, and a 5. Yeah, I thought this video was really fun regardless. I think these were great books. These books were not bad at all. Like, I would not classify these books as bad. I still found one 5-star read, so that has to amount for something. That is it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed this reading vlog and be ready to see a lot more. I know I haven't posted in a long time just because I had a few things going on, so I kind of had to take a step back from YouTube and focus on that for a bit. Yeah, we're coming full-fledged for the end of the year and I will be posting videos back 2 days a week. Yeah, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye!